Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Friday and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you're having a great day. With it being Friday once again, that means it's time for another weekly beauty chit chat. And if you're new around here, this video goes up pretty much every single Friday. It's just an opportunity for me to casually chit chat about all of the fun, frivolous, completely unnecessary beauty products that I was personally loving or obsessing about over the course of the past week. So makeup, skincare, hair care, body care, perfume, you know, all of those fun but definitely unnecessary things in life. So as always, I have a fun little lineup from this recent week here, and as always, I will list and link everything in the description box right below this video. If you'd like to know where to purchase any of these items, read up other people's reviews, look at in-depth ingredient information or anything like that, check out the description box. Usually a plethora of information down there. If I have any discount codes, those will be listed down there. So have a look if you are so inclined. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna get started with perfume, and I have three that I wanna mention from this past week. The first one is a fragrance that I actually finished kind of towards last weekend, and I'm already missing it. So I think I'm definitely gonna have to get the full size of this. I kind of thought that I would because I love the scent, but as soon as I finished it, I was like, man, I'm bummed. I'm bummed this is already gone. So what is this one? This is the 5 Scents Into Deep fragrance. This is a mix of Tahitian vanilla, Italian bergamot, sparkling sugar, Australian sandalwood, and musk. Basically, this is just a beautiful musky vanilla. It's stunning, you guys. Honestly, I feel like I went through this crazy fast. It's the normal, you know, like travel size amount, but usually I can finish these travel sizes pretty quickly, but I definitely was reaching for this constantly based on how fast I finished it. So that being said, I think that means that I need the full size. So now I am kind of at a point where, do I wait until Sephora has their upcoming spring savings event, which is probably going to be in April, or do I buy it now, maybe get it from their website? I bet if I got it through their website, they probably do some kind of sign up for the email, get 20% off situation, but also I can just get it at Sephora as well. So I think I'll probably go ahead and wait until Sephora has their spring savings event, probably pop it in my cart then. But yeah, I will need the full size of this one. It's beautiful, you guys. If you love a warm, cozy, musky vanilla, a great date night vanilla, you've got to check this one out. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Okay, this is another fragrance that I was sporting definitely a few days this week. This is the Maison Louis Marie No. 14 Esilia. This is a fragrance that, for whatever reason, Craig really likes on me. And typically, I love my husband, but he will notice things, you know, like if I cut my hair, you know, he'll, you know, notice stuff like that. But he doesn't always necessarily mention my perfumes. I wear a lot of personal fragrance, so to him it's just like, oh, just Melanie smells again today, you know? But every once in a while he'll be like, I like that, or that smells really good on you. Every time that I've worn this week, he has said, that smells really good. And that's, like I said, kind of unusual for him, so that says to me that this might also have to be a fragrance that I get the full size of. I love this one, you guys. Now, this one is a little bit more floral. I'll have the fragrance notes going across the screen here. I don't remember all of the in-depth notes, but it's a really beautiful, soft floral. It's got a little bit of a, like, kind of white musk vibe to it. It's very soft, very pretty. It's just one of those fragrances that, like, I feel like a lot of people have smelled on me and have said, what is that? It's just, it's soft. It's feminine. It's just a very delicate fragrance, but also has a good amount of like oomph to it without being an overwhelming floral. Like, I'm just really impressed with how this one wears on me. This is an eau de parfum, so the wear time is really good on this. I think the projection on this fragrance is fantastic. It's just a beautiful scent. If the fragrance notes appeal to you at all, I'm telling you, this is a fragrance worth checking out. I don't feel like I see a lot of people talking about this particular brand. They have a few scents at Sephora. There's another one or two that I might be interested in. But before I even try those other scents, I'm gonna have to get the full size of this. Like, that's more of a priority for me because this is just incredibly lovely. And then for the last like 2 days here, I have started getting into my coconut phase. Now this is Dossier Floriental Coconut, but Dossier does not call this Floriental Coconut anymore. I've had this one for a few years, and they have now changed the name of this to Powdery Coconut, but it's a dupe for Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. I love Soleil Blanc. There's a lot of Tom Ford perfumes that I would love to be able to purchase. Unfortunately, they're not cruelty-free. If they ever were, I would probably definitely invest in the Soleil Blanc because it's a stunner, you guys. But I will say this Powdery Coconut, which is what it's called now, so I'm gonna call it that, is I think incredibly close to the original. In the case of this one, I think it's one of their most like spot on fragrances. This is the one I'm wearing today, so I'm gonna go ahead and re-up so you guys can see. Look at that nice atomizer. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Man, you guys, this is just an immediate like summer, beachy, fun, coconutty. Like it literally, there's almost like a hint of sunscreen in here. It's fabulous. It is absolutely fabulous. So with this one, they do list the notes on the front of the bottle here, so I'll just run through them really quickly. The top notes are cardamom, pistachio, and bergamot. The middle notes are ylang ylang, tuberose, and jasmine. The tuberose in here is gorgeous, you guys, as is that jasmine. And then at the base, we have cedarwood, amber, benzoin, and coconut. Listen, if you are looking to get into the coconutty, beachy type of fragrances a little bit early like I am, join me with this one. Dossier, the price point I think is definitely fair. I think this one is a little bit more expensive, but trust me, this is worth it. If you're not aware, you can get Dossier obviously from their website, which I'll have that link down below, but you can also get Dossier at Walmart. Like, I have seen this very bottle at my local Walmart, so you can just pop into Walmart and buy these. Obviously they have better sales usually on their website, but yeah. Anyway, this is fabulous, and if you've never tried a single Dossier fragrance, but you're a big fan of coconutty scents, I would definitely suggest checking this one out. It is lovely, and man, even though I'm not a summertime girl, this almost makes me excited about summer. Not really, I hate summer. Ugh, I'm just not looking forward to like being all sweaty and gross again, but also maybe this year I won't be quite as sweaty and gross now that my hormones are a little bit more balanced. If you missed it, at the beginning of this week, I shared my 3-month HRT update, and you guys, it's going fabulously. I will say one of the main things that I forgot to mention in that video in terms of symptoms that I'm no longer dealing with is I definitely don't have the hot flashes really anymore. I should have definitely popped that into the video because that was like a big thing for me. I would just get so toasty at times that I would start sweating. But for me, it was like kind of localized on my back. And so I would just have sweat pouring down my back. That hasn't happened in like a while. It's been many, many weeks. And you guys, it's glorious. I'm telling you, if you are able to, if you're a candidate for HRT, it's really worth talking to your doctor about it. You don't have to struggle through perimenopause. So also along with that, I forgot to mention that my skin is way less oily. I've kind of mentioned it in a few of my like skincare related videos here, but I am telling you guys, like, it really stood out to me this week when I was at work, like how not oily my skin is anymore. Because even last summer when I was, you know, doing weddings and events and stuff, like by midday, my oil would definitely start to break through. When I was working this past week, I did not once go into the bathroom and look in the mirror and go, whoa, what a mess. just was not having oil come through at all. And it is astounding, you guys. I cannot believe that I do not have aggressively oily skin anymore. And the fact that it almost turned off like a switch, I think is kind of the wildest thing to me. It really started happening within I would say the last 2 months. So my first month on HRT, my skin was definitely still in that like oily stage, but within the last 2 months, like there is no breakthrough oil. It is nuts to me. So, but knock on wood, that doesn't come back. Man, I don't miss having oily skin. Next, let's go ahead and dig into some skincare favorites from this past week. So these first 3 items were actually from a recent skincare haul that I shared this past Sunday. If you missed it, I'll link it in the description box down below. But I placed an order with SKIN1004 and I went directly through their website. They were having a really great sale, and at the time, if you met a certain price point, they also tossed in a bunch of extras, like some freebies into your cart. So I was like, yes, now is the time for me to buy. So I got a ton of really great stuff for a honestly fantastic price point. And immediately after filming that video last week, I put all of that stuff into my bathroom, and I've been using pretty much those products, not completely exclusively, but fairly exclusively. There's still a few other things that I'm popping in addition, but so far so good. I'm loving everything. These first 3 items are items that I feel like it's usually pretty easy to determine early on whether a skincare item in these particular categories here is going to work well for you or not. So we're talking first cleanse, second cleanse, and SPF. However, when it comes to things like toners, essences, specific treatments, moisturizers, sometimes I think it is better to give those particular products a longer period of time to determine whether they're going to work for you or not. But with cleansers, it's usually pretty easy to determine early on whether you like a cleanser or not. Especially with SPFs. If you don't like the texture of an SPF, or if it's just not, you know, a good fit for your particular skin type, be it oily or dry, you learn that pretty early on. So I will be giving you guys some kind of first impressions in the coming weeks of some of those other things, but formal reviews won't start going out for those items for at least another like 6 to 7 weeks at this point. So yeah, let's dig in with these first 3 items. You guys, these are all 3 pretty darn fantastic. So let's start with a cleansing oil. This was one of my freebies. I almost purchased the full size of this, but since they gave me the freebie, I was like, yeah, I'll try that first. Kind of wish I would have just popped it into my cart because 1, the sale was pretty great at the time, and 2, I like this cleansing oil. This is the Madagascar Centella Light Cleansing Oil. I will say it is not as good as the Pharmacy Green Clean when it comes to removing mascara. That is still the gold standard for me. The Pharmacy is just so fast at removing even like stubborn waterproof mascara. I had to work at my mascara a little bit longer with this, and I don't use waterproof. So I will say everything else though, in terms of my SPF, in terms of other makeup on my face, it melted that pretty quickly. It's just the mascara that I kind of struggled with. So makes me wonder if maybe with waterproof mascara, this wouldn't be the best. So just a heads up there. But as long as you use regular mascara, it does eventually break it down. It just takes a little bit longer than the Pharmacy. So, and like I said, that's just my standard that I compare everything to. But in terms of everything else, it's a great cleansing oil, you guys. It doesn't take a whole lot. I was using it for pretty much all of this week, I will say, and even into last weekend, I was using this as well. You can see it doesn't take much here. So that's how much I've used. And I actually really like this being in this type of container because it's super easy to just like shake it out. It's got this nice little stopper at the top. So you get kind of the perfect amount. And yeah, it's great at breaking things down. Just takes a little bit longer with eye makeup. I do see myself potentially repurchasing this in the future. It is a nice cleansing oil and it just feels really good when you're working it into your skin. Second is the Ampule Foam. Now, I also have a full size of this, but I decided to just use the little sample guide that they sent me. The full size that I received was in one of the bundles that I purchased, and I'm really glad now that it came in that bundle because I found a new lovely cleanser that I definitely would repurchase anyway. If you are dry, you're probably not gonna like this because it is a foaming cleanser, but I don't think this is a drying foaming cleanser at all. But I don't know, just based off of what people tell me when, you know, they are sharing information about their dry skin here in the comments section, I find that most people with dry skin prefer a milky cleanser or a creamy cleanser. Foaming cleansers are just kind of, you know, your arch nemesis, I guess. For me, however, a foaming cleanser is still a really good fit because even though my skin is much more normal now, I still like a nice foaming experience. And this is a beautiful creamy foam. It does not dry my skin out. It does not leave it tight. It does not leave it dry afterwards. It almost feels hydrated in a way. Not that this claims to be a hydrating cleanser, but it's really great, you guys. It is effective, it's fast. I am using with my Clarisonic because I still love my cleansing device. But I think even if you use this with your hands, you would develop a really nice creamy lather with this. And it rinses very clean, doesn't leave a film on the skin. And like I said, more importantly, it doesn't leave you tight or dry. So in terms of a cleanser that's worth checking out, this is it. Normal, combo, oily skin, check it. It's good. It's really good. Now, the SPF that I was trying to test the most this week was this bad boy here. This is the Madagascar Centella Hyalu-Cica Water Fit Sun Serum. This is an SPF 50. And this one here, I believe, is a chemical SPF. I don't remember all the ins and outs of this one, but I really like this one. I find this one to be a little bit more hydrating than the Airfit Sun Cream Light. This one right here. I paid for this SPF, and this is one of the freebies that they tossed in. These are both really great. I gotta say, I think this might actually be my first time trying a Korean SPF other than the Glow Recipe is, I think, technically a Korean skincare brand. This is their Watermelon Glow Dew Balm SPF 45. This is one that I tested out last summer. This did not work for me last summer. I'm actually kind of curious to see, now that my skin has changed, whether this one will work for me this summer. I don't think it's expired yet. No, 2026. Okay, so we'll try that one again this summer. But anyway, moral of the story is I really like, I like Korean sunscreens, and the big bummer is that now you can't easily get them here anymore. So there was a warning on the SKIN1004 website that because of FDA regulations, they were gonna have to stop selling their sunscreens here in the US. I don't know whether that means you can still get them through websites like Stylevana or, you know, Stylevana or Yes Style. Maybe those guys have some kind of exemption, but SKIN1004 actually said we can no longer send these to the US. So bummer is, I love both of them. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to repurchase these some other way, I guess. But anyway, let's go back to just my thoughts on this one here. I like this one a lot. It is, I was afraid it was gonna give me a white cast, but as soon as I blended it into my skin just looked beautiful. It had a little bit of a glow. I waited about probably 15 minutes for it to fully like settle into my skin. And then I powdered it and went over with my powder foundation, and I'm wearing it today. You can still see a little bit of that glow coming through. Like you can see that, I guess, shine, glow, if you will, on my forehead here and on my cheeks, but it's not greasy looking, right? Like it just looks like a lit from within kind of glow. And now that my skin is no longer crazy oily, I will accept it. I've been mattifying my skin my whole life, so this is just a very different like feeling for me. But yeah, so far so good on this. I really like the texture a lot. I can see why a lot of people really like Korean sunscreens. So yeah, anyway, I will be doing some in-depth sunscreen reviews coming up here soon. So I want to use these both for a good, you know, like 5-6 weeks. I almost feel bad reviewing them at that point because, like I said, it is getting a lot more difficult to get access to these in the US now thanks to the FDA, but hopefully they can figure out a way to get around that here and can start selling these sunscreens on the market. But all right, let's continue on. I just want to give a quick mention to the Dermalogica Multi-Active Toner, which I have now officially finished. I actually did not use it out of this container. I was decanting it into another misting bottle that had just a nicer sprayer than this guy. This was one of those atomizers that just would go like splat in your face. But yeah, I really enjoyed this product. I will repurchase this at some point in the future. It does have lavender oil in it, and I know that that is a hard pass for a lot of people. This has, there's a bunch of really great ingredients in here. There's arnica, there's balm mint in here, but I specifically want to mention the lavender because I know that's a big no-no for some people when it comes to especially sensitive skin. I don't have sensitive skin, so this was great. Smelled very, I mean, it smelled like lavender, so relaxing, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of lavender, to be completely honest, but I didn't find that it irritated my skin. But just in terms of a really great product to spritz on my face immediately after getting out of the shower, like it was fabulous for that. I would just kind of hose my face down, then I would go brush my teeth, and as that toner absorbed into my skin, you know, I would brush my teeth, and then immediately after I would go in with the remainder of my morning skincare routine. So this was kind of my prep before skincare for the last several months, and it was nice. I'm gonna miss it. I will repurchase it in the future, but I'm trying some other hydration mists right now. Speaking of, I have a new one from Dermatology, and I gotta say, this is both a winner and a loser for me. The component, the packaging is the loser part. The formulation is great. And just to be perfectly transparent, I did receive this item in PR. I am a dermatology partner, so typically when new items get released, they will send me a sample to be able to try. So this was my sample. This is their new Hydra-Plump Biome Mist. So there's a lot of really great ingredients in here, including watermelon fruit extract, apple extract. There is licorice root in here. I'll have it linked down below. Check out the entire ingredient deck there. But yeah, I started using this week because obviously ran out of this. And like I said, formulation is great. I was using it in the same way as the Dermalogica, where it was just an initial spray prior to, you know, brushing my teeth and then going with my skincare routine. The very first time that I tried to spray this on my face, and it happened twice in a row, so I am gonna like decant this into the same container that I had this stuff in. When I went to spray it on my face, it was so aggressive. Like this mist, it's probably not gonna do it now, but yeah, it had a little bit of a nicer distribution there, but the first few times that I sprayed this on my face, it like streamed out and like got me in my eye. Even though my eyes were closed, it was such a forceful, like, it like went into my eyeball, which obviously didn't feel great. This isn't just water going into the eye, there's skincare ingredients. So I dealt with some red eye that day. Just one angry eye. Luckily it didn't get into my other eye, but yeah, I really think they need to maybe find a new, like, more mist type applicator for this. It's a great product, wonderful ingredients, feels great on the skin, definitely preps for, you know, subsequent skincare. And this would also be a great thing to be able to spray on my face throughout the day, but not in this container. This would absolutely destroy my makeup if I sprayed this on my skin right now. Even if I held it back a little bit further, I don't think it would give me that nice mist distribution that would leave my makeup looking intact, if you will. So definite miss here in terms of the packaging. I hope they can maybe refine this. The formulation, however, I do like. So also, I'd like to see this in a bigger bottle. It's kind of a small bottle. This is 1.8 fluid ounces. I mean, this guy here came in an 8.4 ounce. This is the size that I would like. I like my things in bulk. I'm a Costco girl, so give me bulk when it comes to this. But yeah, if you're interested in trying it, I would say maybe just plan on potentially having to decant it, or I just have been spraying it into the palm of my hand and then pressing it onto my skin. That is what I'm gonna do going forward with this, because it's just, like I said, it's a little too aggressive. Lastly, let's discuss some makeup favorites from this past week. The very first thing that I am so excited that I finally actually get to talk about is the lip liner that I have now been using pretty much almost daily for the last, it's been almost 3 weeks, I think. City Beauty launched their very first lip liner product, and you guys, it is fantastic. So I received this prior to the launch so that I could test it out, and they finally launched this week, and I am so excited to share these. So these are the defining liners from the City Lips line. The two shades that I have are Blush and Willow. I definitely prefer Blush over Willow, but Willow is also a beautiful shade. I will give you guys a swatch here in a second, but here are the colors just featured on the end here. Okay, these are so creamy, but you know what? They stay put probably better than any other lip liner that I've used in a long time. I think these actually stay put longer, and they are creamier than the Marc Jacobs lip liners from back in the day. That was one of my favorite lip liners ever, but these, they have that beat, you guys. This creaminess here is just epic. So this first one is Willow. When I show you guys, Willow will be at the bottom. And then this blush. Blush is what I am wearing, just a really light wash of today. And then I actually just went over top with the plumping oil from City Lips. This is also new from City Beauty. This launched either last week or the week before. This is the pink champagne shade. I've been wearing the sangria mostly, but I started wearing the pink champagne this week. So you can actually see that I have that liner on the thing here, because what I've been doing is lightly lining my lips with blush, and then I will go over top with a little bit of the oil, and I just press my lips together, and it gives me the perfect, like, your lips but better color. So Willow again at the bottom here. Oh, sorry, is it gonna focus? Here we go. Willow and then blush. Willow has a little bit more brown in it, and blush has a little bit more pink in it. So definitely a warmer down here, and I wouldn't call this like cool or anything, but it's more of like a neutral pink. So two really great colors, and they are so creamy, you guys. They are creamy, they glide on, and they stay put. And also, I love the fact that they are this like retractable style. So, you know, I don't have to sharpen this. I hate having to sharpen a lip pencil. These are great, you guys. They're so easy to work with. They stay put, they are comfortable. And when I pair these with the oil, my lips feel hydrated. They look plump. They look, you know, like I've actually been drinking enough water, which I never do, especially this week, man. You guys, I had leg cramps galore this week because I was running around at work. I didn't really have a lot of time to eat or drink when we were doing our events this week. And man, I was dealing with the worst leg cramps at night. So this weekend, I need to focus on hydration a little bit. But listen, if you are in the market, and also these really do stay put. Once you get them on there, that color stays put. Not going anywhere. Which is great, actually. That's actually a good thing for these. So if you are in the market, I'll have them linked down below. they're fabulous. If you need a new lip liner, I'd suggest checking these out for sure. I will repurchase that blush. The Willow, I think, is a fine color for me, but I really prefer the blush. The blush is my shade. All right, in terms of blush this week, again, I was continuing to use this, and I hit pan even further. You can see a little more silver on that bad boy. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Seduce. Sometimes I just grab a blush and for whatever reason, I just become attached to it, and I feel like I have attached to Seduce for some reason. It's probably just because it's such an easy color to apply. I don't really have to think about it, whether I'm wearing a warm eye look or a cool toned eye look. This color just seems to work. So it's easy and it stays put all day long. Incredible pigment here, beautiful vibrancy to the blush, and it stays put on my skin. So it's fabulous, love it. I have several of these Tarte blushes, and this Seduce shade is definitely one of my favorite. One of my others is the shade Party that has, I think, either 2 or 3 A's in the Party name, and that one is fantastic. I actually finished a small like sample size I had of that, and I need to purchase the full size. I miss that shade for sure. But yeah, this is a great blush. If you don't have this one in your collection, it's a great neutral to have on hand. All right, lastly, I want to talk about my eyeshadow picks from this past week, and it was these two guys right here because they were just kind of easy. So this first one is ColourPop, that's Taupe, and this is just a great neutral palette. In terms of my favorite like affordable eyeshadows, I would say ColourPop and Sydney Grace are definitely my favorites. I have a large Sydney Grace collection. But if you are looking for something that's even more readily available, ColourPop is obviously at Ulta. They have a ton of these palettes. If this color story doesn't appeal to you, pick a different one. There's like 50 to choose from. They have so many eyeshadow palettes, but that's Taupe palette, I think, is one of my personal favorites because it's so neutral. It's another one where you don't really have to think when you're putting the shadows on. Like, it's just, you've got some lid shades, and you've got some crease shades. You've got some mattes, you've got some shimmers. It's really nicely balanced. It's easy to work with. There's fallout, but it's not horrific. You can brush it away. I think this is a great palette. If you don't have this one, it's like 15 bucks, and it's a good one to have on hand, especially if you are looking for an inexpensive travel palette. If you're too afraid to take your more expensive palettes because you don't want them to break, get something like this to travel with. It's perfect. Pigment is there. So I will say they do fade a little bit faster than my high-end eyeshadows, but just wear an eye primer. That'll extend the wear. Do it. All right, LORAC. Still loving my old school LORAC palettes. This week I decided to bust out the LORAC Pro 3. This was the Pro 3. And this one, again, just had some great neutrals in it. I was just vibing with my neutrals this week. So this one here, you're gonna see a lot of great neutral shades, warm toned, kind of neutral toned, some cool tones as well. Listen, it's a great one. This is not readily available anymore, so I'm not saying run out and buy this. I don't even know if you can buy this anymore, but if you still have this in your collection and you haven't reached for it lately, like I haven't, bust it out. It's a good one. I really enjoy it. So anyway, you guys, that is everything that I have for you this week. Let me know what you are loving in the comments down below. Again, check out the description box for links to everything that I mentioned. I really appreciate you being here. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.